Hey everybody, welcome to Rants by Michaela. So for those of you who are spiritually bankrupt, you're either agnostic or atheist, you haven't found a religion or a spiritual practice to practice on a regular basis that suits you, that suits your current belief system, I would encourage you to go find one. And the reason why I say this is because if you block yourself off spiritually, you block yourself from being able to receive much needed messages from divine beings who are trying to communicate with you. Let me tell you how I know this. So some years ago, back in October 2019, I decided to move to Mayfield, Kentucky. You may have heard of Mayfield, Kentucky. It's one of the cities that was currently destroyed by the tornado that lasted for 4 hours and decimated several cities within 4 states. In October 2019, my girlfriend, who I had met at Grace Davis High in Modesto, California, she had invited me to come stay with her and her children in Mayfield, Kentucky, and she encouraged me to bring my kids. We were going to start our lives over again outside of California. Now, don't get me wrong, I love California. It's just that I was born and raised there and I needed a change of scenery. Otherwise, aside from certain areas being ridiculously expensive, I love California and to an extent don't have a problem going back. But I wanted a change of scenery. I wanted more affordable living, and Mayfield, Kentucky seemed like it was the place to do everything that I wanted to do. She and I had spoken for a couple of weeks and we had made a plan. I was going to stay there for 3 years, not in her place. I was going to be able to get my own place eventually, but I was going to be able to stay there for 3 years, be able to clean up my credit, save enough money for a deposit on a home, and then decide if I wanted to move back to California and purchase a house or move to another state. Let me paint the picture for you with regards to Mayfield, Kentucky. Southern state. Racially inclusive. Remember, when you're African American or Hispanic, one of the first things you ask when you're getting ready to move to another city or state is, how do they treat black and brown people? This city is racially inclusive. Interracial relationships are so common, they're to be expected. They're not frowned upon. The rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a very generously sized front and backyard is $375 a month. Kentucky has laws that are supportive of independent contractors. I'm a work from home customer service agent. Depending on whether they need me to only do customer service in English or in Spanish is the difference between me making $18 an hour and $21 an hour. Bilingual reps always make more. So here I have the potential of making at least $18 an hour, 40 hours a week, and my rent is less than $400 a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. The city is beautiful and well kept. It's peaceful and safe. I can leave my car door and my front door completely unlocked without having to worry about any burglars coming in to break into my stuff or destroy my home or my car or steal my belongings. My son loves his school that he's been enrolled into. He especially loves the cafeteria. The people are nice. This place is heaven. But there was a little voice inside my head saying, you need to get out. You need to leave. Now, Tyler Perry always talks about that little voice inside of your head. He talked about that little voice inside of your head in the play Madea Goes to Jail, way before the movie came out. And he mentioned that if you don't listen to that voice will wear you out. That voice is your spirit guide. It's not your intuition. It's not your conscience. It's not your subconscious. You are not schizophrenic. You are not crazy. That voice is a spirit guide that is always with you, telling you when you're making the right decision or when you need to get out. And despite how perfect Mayfield, Kentucky seemed to be, I knew I needed to get out. That voice let me know right then and there, you need to go. So I told my friend after being there for 2 weeks, unfortunately, this isn't going to work out for me. I'm going to have to go. And I could see how upset she was, and I can see how disappointed she was. There were some other factors involved in me leaving, because I had found out that over the years, she and I had become two different people with two completely different work ethics and parenting styles. But nothing was more significant in the reason for my departure than that voice in my head screaming at me to get out. That was in October of 2019. Fast forward 4 months later, and my girlfriend had passed away. Accidental combination of prescription medications prescribed by several specialists that she was seeing. And I thought to myself, if I had stayed in Mayfield and my kids had gotten used to the environment and my son had grown to love his city and his school and his friends, after March of 2020, I would have been left alone. I mean, I had her grandmother, who I consider to be my grandmother, and I had her uncle there. But for the most part, I went there to be with her. And she had passed on. So I thought that voice in my head telling me to leave was letting me know that if I had stayed, eventually I would be alone. Now let's fast forward to December 2021. And a tornado has come and decimated the entire city. It is to the point where the entire city is going to have to rebuild from the ground up. I called her granny the minute I found out that the city was directly hit by the tornado. She said, thankfully, by the grace of God, her house was not hit. But she has a rental house not too far away, and the roof blew off. And the home that we previously lived in was not directly hit, even though the tornado had crossed that street. And the only thing that happened to those homes were the windows blew out. Remember, I had planned on staying there for 3 years. And by the grace of God and the divine beings who communicated with me, I only managed to stay there for 2 weeks and got out. You cannot tell me there is no divine great being out there that is watching you. You cannot tell me that your ancestors are not constantly surrounding you to have your back in time of need. You cannot tell me none of this. Because I am living proof. My testimony should serve as evidence that God, the great creator, by whatever name you call him, by whatever way that you worship him, either through Abrahamic religions, through Buddhism, through Hinduism. I don't care if you call him Yahweh. I don't care if you call him Allah. I don't care if you call him God. I don't care if you call him Shiva. I don't care who you call him, and I don't care how many gods you believe in. If you believe in a Yahweh and I believe the female goddess, God's wife, was Ashera. I don't care about what names you call the great creators. The great creators and the divine spirits are here, looking over you, watching you, guiding you. And if you don't open yourself up spiritually, you will block the messages that they are sending you every day, all day, on a regular basis. Open your heart, open your mind. Be who you need to be, and seek out the spirituality that works best for you. Anyway, that's my rant, everybody. You guys have a good one.